Welcome to Sports Talk. My name is Shaun Garizep. This is your review show where we unpack all happenings in sports locally and internationally. Today we will be joined by Castro and Mr. Mathew Haikali. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you for having us. Thank you for having me.
Mr. Haikali, you are back again.
Yeah, no, thanks very much for having me. It's been some time.
Yes.
Yeah, and things are looking good for sports in the country at the moment.
Yeah, today we will be speaking about women's sports. We'll be speaking about hockey. The World Cup just concluded, and we'll also be touching on the Premier League as usual. So immediately, let's just go into women's sports.
Yeah.
Women's sports just got sponsorship last week, and then the league is kicking off this weekend. 7.5 million. That's what we are talking about. People are having ambivalent views about the amount of money. Your views, guys. Is the money enough? There are plans to professionalize football. Yeah. Some people are looking at it and saying 7.5, 2.5, 2.5, or over 3 years.
Seasons, yeah.
3 seasons. Yeah. Let's start with you.
First of all, thank you for having me. 7.5, but kudos to FNB. At least they came up with something. Women football has been down for, I don't know, for a while now. I think the last time they had something was the Bounce Back Cup in 2021. So, okay, the money is fair. It's fair, to be honest. At least FNB came up. So, yeah, I think it's a good initiative from FNB. I'm glad.
Saikali?
No, I think during the launch and also during the draw, one of the things that came up in terms of the investment that FNB has done is a focus on the girl child. And I think that's a good thing in terms of the development of the game. But also there was a call for the development of structures, which provides an opportunity. So the investment is not only directed at the field of play, but also at developing administrators in the game of women. I mean, if you look at the number of teams that are from Windhoek, the idea is to have the Women's Super League being played by teams representing all the regions in the country, which is a good thing. Is the money enough? Money will never be enough. But look, all these teams have been in existence. So this is an injection that has been given to the teams for them to be able to move them one step up. So asking whether it's enough, I think for me, with what FNB has done, I think it's just to be able to help them move one step up from where they were.
And the view from the people from women's football, those in the fraternity, is that women's football has always tried to be a step ahead. Like with the Bounce Back Cup you were talking about, when there was no football, they took those initiatives. But let's look at the teams that are there. Tura Magic, they were the last ones. Let's say they are the defending champions. Looking at the league, there is also Ongwediva City. What are the chances of Tura Magic and for Ongwediva City, a team from the north? And given that there's no promotion, only two teams will get relegated at the end of the season, and no team is coming up. I think they are trying to do that thing. You know, when there's this belief of having as few teams as possible, just to have a competitive league. What are the chances of Tura Magic and teams like Ongwediva City? Are they new or were they in the league before?
No, Ongwediva City, I think if you look, there's a lot of players that are playing in the national team that came from the northern part. And if you've been following women football, there's been a lot of competitions around women football. So there's massive talent. That's part of the country. What I'm seeing happening, and that depends also with the people who actually own Ongwediva City, is tapping into those academies that are in the regions and hunt for the best talent so that the team actually represents the region. It shouldn't be a team for Ongwediva only, but they get the best talent to be able to make sure that they stay afloat and help another team also get, promoted. So chances of seeing them getting relegated, I don't see it. I think Windhoek-based teams probably are the ones that are going to get relegated.
Tura Magic?
Yeah, Tura Magic, I think Tura Magic, I'll just say Tura Magic is the Sundowns of Namibia in women football. Sundowns ladies, let me say. Yeah, looking at it, at the Bounce Back Cup, they won it. They are the defending champions of the Bounce Back Cup, but they also won it with on a 1-0. They won 1-0 against the Girls and Golds. So we just says that I think the other teams also they are now also they are improving. It's not like the first Tura Magic, which just used to beat the girls 10, 11, 12, whatever. So looking at them winning, yeah, you can say that because they have the stars. Most of the national players are from there. But I think the competition is tight. The competition is tight, yeah.
Maybe just to add, if you look at Namibian football, with the proper administration for any club, it helps improve the standard on the field of play. Tura Magic is joined to the men's team, and they've got a proper structure in place. That gives them an edge. And that's what I would want to see on Godiva City move in that direction as well. Try and make sure that they have a proper structure that supports the team. Because it's not only about the coach, it's about the structures that you
Gents, seeing that there's no promotion, you always have to have a feeder league. So do you think it's fair for teams in the lower league? How is it, it's one thing to start the flagship league, but the lower league, is it fair towards those teams? They play a whole season and there's no promotion. What incentive is there for them? Is it fair, or is it in the interest of women's football to not have relegation?
I find it strange. You usually have promotion and relegation. You can't have promotions, or you can't have only relegations.
How was that arrived at? Do you have any idea?
Well, I don't represent NFA.
I don't know how it came.
Yeah, no, but it shouldn't be, because you must have promotion and relegation at the same time. You can't have one.
Yeah,
So it's it's going to be an interesting one.
yeah.
Unfair?
Very unfair.
Very unfair.
Very unfair. No, very unfair to the teams.
Gents, towards in the beginning of the month, the World Cup started, Hockey World Cup.
Yeah.
What was your assessment of the performance of our two teams, the men's team and the women's team? Were you surprised that the men's team went until at the quarterfinal, seeing that how they went through almost only because Australia withdrew? Many people said it was through backdoor, and the women's team being the champions,
The African champion.
African champions, people thought they would do better than the men's team.
But remember, when you're in a competition like this one and you come in as reigning champions or current champions as far as the game is concerned, pressure is always on you. And obviously they say if they could beat everybody there, we must prepare extra for them. And I think that's why the challenge they found themselves where they are. For men saying they went through the back door, I don't think it's through the back door. If the other team withdrew and you are second in line, you benefit from it.
And I think the reason for the men's performance was they didn't really have a lot on their shoulders, like
the women's team.
Haikali said, like the women's team. So they went in there, let's go enjoy our game. We want to win, yes, obviously, but there's nothing really heavy on their shoulders. With the women team, I think they were like,
the pressure was so much. You are African champions.
African champions. You come in here, everyone is looking at you. So but it was surprising to see them going out. But looking at the games, the world is in front of us. I know the world is in front of us. The other teams are playing.
So you're saying the level is.
No, it's somewhere else.
But what does one take from such tournaments, especially for domestic hockey? What does one take home?
Look, I think we have a problem. When those people come back, they will go back into their abnormal lives. Yes. I mean normal lives. There's not going to be an opportunity for people to call them into one place and try and share those experiences. I would want to see, especially the hockey team, when they come back, they get deployed, whether to work with other federations, whether to work with clubs, so that they can be able to share those experiences. I think one of the biggest challenge is especially from the other teams, they have playing philosophies. Do you have that here? I'm not asking you, I'm just saying. So it's an opportunity for us to use that experience, for them to come and reflect, but they need to be able to share that. And it's not only for hockey. It could be able to help football, badminton, it could be able to help everybody. Yeah.
I think also the fact that I don't know if it's everywhere, but I think we have day jobs and then we can play later on. So we have like 3-4 hours just to train every day, 3-4 hours. While I think the other countries, they have more hours for training. So it's
and we play against people that are Professionally.
He's just a hockey player.
Yeah.
But look, our players can't be professional. It's the administration that is the problem, because the administration is run by volunteers. You have a full-time job. You think you'll be able to put enough to be able to give the player an opportunity for them to perform at their best. It's not going to.
But Mr. Haikali, one day we must go into this problem of administration being a problem everywhere in our sport.
No. But we must admit,
Yeah.
as long as we have volunteers, as long as the administration is on a volunteer basis, get somebody to volunteer to clean your yard every day, and you'll tell me what happens after.
Come today, tomorrow, hi. Come the next day.
No, understandably so. Guys, let's move to the Dev Marine Premiership. Yo, I don't know. The Premier League, our Premier League, African Stars. Last weekend they played against Black Africa 6-1. Saturday they won. They picked up another point, 3 points again on Sunday. Guys, what do you think of Stars' chances?
That's
Are they already champions?
There's no chances. I think they are champions. No, honestly, because looking at the other teams, there's no competition. I think it all comes to administration, as Mr. Haikali said. Those guys have structures. I know, manager, they have their coaches on point, all this. They have structures and they have the funds.
It's important to realize that before anybody could prepare, African Stars was putting their house in order. Even when there was no league, they had some kind of football going on. And that offered them the opportunity not only to put youngsters together, but also to put their structures in place. When the league came back, they had left the station already.
And looking at it, as Mr. Haikali is saying, when people were fighting, and we all have seen in the media that it was Mr. Kauta himself, the owner of Stars. He was part of that whole commotion, but his team was still just going forward, while the other teams were just sitting.
That is an interesting point, because I saw the chairperson of Citizens raising that point and saying some people had an unfair advantage because they knew the league was going to start. And Citizens having only collected 2 points, he was saying we'll get into groove. Is that a fair point to say that it was unfair on us who were not anticipating the restart of the league? Or
I don't think so. I mean, if you own a club, why would you put your team on hold? What were you doing the whole time?
Play mini leagues.
Yes, players were playing all over the place. I mean, so if there's a club owner and now you come and say some people had an unfair advantage, they were using that opportunity to be able to build themselves, build their structures, source funding if it's necessary, source the relevant technical personnel, so that by the time the football kicked off, then they could be able to get onto the boat and ride on.
Because does it mean that the football didn't start until now? No, then what? Would they dismantle the whole team, or what would happen? That's the thing.
Or hold on to the status only.
Not that I'm fending for them, but I think resources also, to just the training.
Everybody has. But how come there's so many tournaments that have been going around? Everybody was saying there's no football in the country, but there was football happening. There was tournaments. There was bush tournaments, there was social football, there was youth football going on. Where were those people getting the resources?
There's always football. Guys, the Orlando Pirates were seen as a possible challengers for African Stars. But Orlando Pirates, they even lost to Civics. Civics were struggling, but they're doing now well. What do you think of Orlando Pirates?
Orlando Pirates.
Was it surprising that they lost?
Who said they were?
No, Orlando Pirates has. I also agree that they have a very good team. On paper, at least. I really thought, like I've said it before, I really thought they're going to give Stars a run for their money.
Kaizer Chiefs is a good team in South Africa. They on paper, Kaizer Chiefs, they can be first, right? They can be second right now. Where are they? That's the thing. You can have your good team on paper, but if you're not organized enough.
But also the players. Are the players hungry enough?
Yes.
You've got lots of experienced players. I think for me, the teams that will be able to survive this league in the top 6 or top 8 are teams that have youngsters in them. If you look at it, obviously experience is needed right now, but come the second round, those aged guys will try to fade out. Orlando Pirates started on a high because it's of experience, but the people who will carry the teams is the youngsters. And maybe Orlando Pirates has a puncture right now, and that's what's happening to them.
But there was something you were talking about levels of hockey. As to how far the people are in terms of compared to Namibia. I was talking to Mr. Haikali earlier about the possibility of African stars doing what Liverpool was attempting to do recently, what Arsenal did many years ago. That is going all the way without being beaten. I even spoke to a few gurus today. I spoke to Carlos, I spoke to Conrad. Carlos tells me in 1983, Hungry Lions was the only team that went undefeated without dropping a point. But that was in the first division. But he says Ramblers in 92 in the Premier League, they won without losing a game. But then Mr. Haikali was saying Civics might have done it. Do you recall anything? In fact, in Africa, because this might be history that if Stars can go undefeated, if they win this weekend, they can go do the first round undefeated. Have you seen something like that, Mr. Haikali, in recent history or in African history?
Well, in the Namibian context, data is a problem for us. So being able to get that would be difficult, and even to verify the statistics that you are providing. That would be an interesting one. But in the rest of the continent, that would be an interesting exercise for people in our field to try and look for that, because that's something to think about. I know Sundowns has tried, almost. Al Ali has tried. The Nigerian team also has tried, but Nyemba, but I'm not sure they've gone all the way without losing it.
What? Okay, no, we were just okay. Not we, but the Kaizer Chiefs was just on top until we
Do you
lost.
think Stars can do it with the
Current top
personnel
players?
they have?
Yeah. No, I think they can. They are able to. I think they are able to because honestly, the first 11, the bench, everyone that comes in is
And it seems every week they are getting new players. Last week I was reading this guy, Ivan Kamberiba might be coming back. There were rumors like that. And what Jocelyn Kamatuka already. So it seems like is there no transfer window here?
The transfer is closed now, but it's
the local window is, but because usually with international transfer, when a player becomes a free agent, then there is provision for them to be registered and be able to get into the system. But also it's a whole process, because you need to be able to get the international transfer certificates, the whole process. So it's a whole thing. And also I'm not sure in terms of the limitations of the numbers that a team is allowed to whatever as far as NFA is concerned, because that needs also to be put in place here.
Gents, before we conclude, I just want to ask you your views on as to whether it's done with Citizens and the games that are coming up. African Stars, the same African Stars, they are going to Omaheke, to Young African. That is they look at that game very What do you think of that game, and what are the chances of Citizens surviving? In conclusion, from both of you.
Yes, from my side, in terms of Citizens surviving, I don't see them surviving. It's 2 points in 14.
There's still a whole second round, remember?
The second round, but look, are the players hungry enough, or are they experienced enough to win games? 2 points in 14 games, a whole first round. No, 14 games are a lot for you. At least lose the other 7, and then you're like, no, we can change. We can change. But in terms of surviving, I don't think so. But talking about Stars, that one is.
They can beat the Young African in Hobabes.
The Young African. I'm not a Stars fan, but I'm just confident that they have the team to actually beat any team right now. Yeah, that's my thoughts.
No, I think the game in Hobabis is going to be an interesting one. I don't think Young African is going to be a walk in the park. I think it's going to be at home, and they want to be able to prove that they are a force to reckon with. I think they've shown that when they've played with other teams, they've won games away. They're not going to let somebody come and beat them in their backyard. So that's going to be a real tough one. and the whole stick of African stars going unbeaten streak it might come to an end with young Africans.
Yeah, it's
Definitely.
a tricky. And with the fans, young African with their fans.
Yes, the followings. But also remember, African Stars travels with their supporters as well.
They also have a support base there.
So it's going to be a very interesting match. As far as citizens, again, and it's not only for citizens. I think, and I always argue, if your administration at club level is not up to scratch, it reflects on the field of play. It does. I understand the coach resigned. You expect them to win their next games. Whoever comes in must be able to prepare for the second round. How much time do they have for that preparations to be able to get the players to gel? Maybe by the 5th, 6th game of the second round, for the coach to be able to actually know the players properly, to be able to take them.
That is late in football terms. That is late.
On that note, gents, thank you for coming through. Castro, do we bet on local games on PSP?
No, we actually don't. There's some system issues.
Are there plans like that?
Yeah, we are trying. We are trying, but yeah, we are trying.
With African Stars, I can win every week. Mr. Haikali, thank you for coming through.
No, thanks very much for having me.
On that note, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching your #1 sports podcast. We out.